Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I believe we're live. It's 4 o'clock here in Adelaide, and welcome to the second episode of the Trader webinar series. Fantastic to be with you again. We're going to cover an hour of lots of exciting opportunities when it comes to Powermesh, give you an overview of the market, the opportunity, where we're heading, touch on a few products again, and show you some great tools in how we can help each other sell, which is wonderful new opportunities in Powermesh, help each other sell that. So we've got Jordan Tentori with us as well on the panelist team. Got Cassie here with Trader TV, and we're going to try and entertain you together for the next hour. Jordan did most of the speaking last time, so I'm going to chat with you mainly today. And depending on how time goes, we're going to come up and maybe talk a little bit of training on behaviour link and a few things like that. Before we kick off, just a reminder, if you've got questions that you'd like to ask, please feel free to put them up on the screen at any time, and towards the end we'll answer those questions for you as we work through this together. So I want to move straight on to the opportunity of connected spaces. You can all see that up on your screen. If you want to see me talking, I believe you can double click on me on a phone, or there's some gallery views on your computer if you want to change views between myself and what's up on the screen. So I think you've got that flexibility in Zoom, just to remind you of that. Let's talk about connected spaces. In my professional opinion, in my emotional opinion, I believe that the single biggest opportunity this industry has ever faced is amongst us now. And that is to get behind the revolution of connected spaces. The reality of it is that every device that can be connected to the internet at some point in time will be connected. And that represents for us as an industry the most exciting opportunity we've had to date. And we've seen many different opportunities presented to contractors, to our industry around Australia, in fact globally over the last 30 or 40 years, be it data, be it the opportunity for mandatory RCDs or smoke detectors. The reality we have now moving forward is that there is just this world of opportunity to get electrical fixed wide products connected, and to do that with fixed wide devices that benefit the electrician. Let me just show you again on the screen today the different segments that are out there in the marketplace. There are lots of pieces to this jigsaw at play, and they're all very much complementary. On the screen in front of you, you can see what we call our triangle. Today in the market, or previously, C-bus, wired, expensive solutions have been the norm. The issue we have with that is a couple of things. Very expensive, and really to retrofit a wired system is not doable. So you've had Clipsal, who've done very well in the C-bus space over many years when I was at the firm doing that, and other wired devices. They still have their place in the market, there's no doubt about it, but they're expensive and you can't retrofit them. But they're available and they'll be in the marketplace. On the other end of the scale, as you can see there on that diagram, you've got dozens of DIY style solutions. They don't really represent an opportunity for the contractor at large, because those bulb style products encourage mum and dad to do the work. We want electricians to share and benefit with us in this program of fixed wire devices. So you can see there, we've got a Philips Hue bulb, you've got a LifeX bulb. Mum and dad can go down to a retailer and they can grab a bulb and they can plug it in. They're really gimmicky. One of the other dramas with using that bulb style connected product is, as we know, we like to use light switches. And so when you put a bulb into a ceiling fitting, if you can find one, mind you, because most of the fittings these days in the ceiling are LEDs and they're fixed. When you turn the switch off, you lose control of that light altogether. And so there is a big place in the middle that is where we want to play as Powermesh with Trader. And consumers typically have the lights already installed. We've done that. We want to grab the electrician, we want to grab a fixed wire device. And in the Australian market, we're very lucky. By law, you must be a licensed electrician to install a fixed wire device. So we want to grab a Powermesh enabled light switch, a Powermesh enabled dimmer, a Powermesh enabled power point, using a contractor to update those products to get them connected. And so there's this opportunity for all of us. There's the DIY plug-and-play light bulb market. There's the connected C-bus solution. They'll both exist. And then there's this really big chunk of business out there for us to get in Australia between trader, wholesale partners, electrical contractor. That's this fixed wide retrofit scalable market that we bring with the Powermesh suite of product. Let's put the opportunity into some type of perspective, because the numbers, when you do the math, are quite mind-boggling. We look at the size of the Australian market only, and on the screen there you can see there are, around numbers, 10 million existing dwellings in this country today. Together we build between 150 and 200,000 new dwellings every year. And so the opportunity is in the existing dwellings, as you saw by that chart. So what that means is we have to have products that we, in our fixed wire electrical community, can retrofit. We've just discussed it's very hard to retrofit C-bus or KNX, albeit they still have a place. We don't want plug and play. We want retrofit fixed wide products that we can scale in existing homes. The opportunity exists as we've shown. Up on the screen now, on average, we believe in one dwelling, there's about 25 fixed wire devices. Let's call them holes of opportunity. The good old 84mm mounting centers represent an opportunity for us to take out that existing device and add to it a connected device. Again, if you come back to the theory that everything that can be connected will be connected into the future, then every single one of those 84mm mounting devices is an opportunity for an electrician in Australia to capture the revolution of connected spaces. So we add them together, and these numbers are quite staggering. And you sort of scratch your head and you ask yourself, is this real? But it is absolutely real when you consider the opportunity. We won't capture all of it, but we don't need to. We just capture a very small part of what's out there. And as an industry, we have a wonderful golden opportunity ahead. You take 10 million homes, you take 25 holes of opportunity with 84mm mounting centers per home. That equals 250 million holes of opportunity for us in this industry of fixed wire devices to capture. And let's do it on average at $100 per device. And the price is going to vary, it's going to work its way through, but we just take 100 for the sake of it. When you add those together, 10 million homes, 25 holes a home at $100 a device, it's a $25 billion market. There is more room in this market for all of us put together times 10, okay? So the industry opportunity is enormous, and we welcome other players in the marketplace to capture this opportunity. The more of us that are promoting connected devices, the better the market will grow. So everywhere we're going with our customers, residential customers, new home builders, okay, alterations and additions, we should be thinking as an industry, how do we add a connected solution to your lives? How do we go about doing that? And we're going to introduce a range of cards and a range of selling tools to help contractors, wholesalers, ourselves around Australia present these opportunities. To remind ourselves of the Powermesh family, right now on the marketplace, the family has never been more complete. Of course, there's a lot more product coming, and we've got such a wonderful, exciting opportunity moving into the future. But today, we've got the PowerPoint. It's the heart and soul of the Powermesh range. To be frank, it's the contractor's best friend, the double GPO. We've got wonderful gang switches. We've got the light dimmer. We've got the fan controller. That suite of product on the screen now really solves a whole lot of problems. There's not too much we can't do in a home with any more product that's already there, and the product range will keep expanding. So we've got an opportunity like we've never seen before. Everything that can be connected will be. There's a $25 billion market out there with 250 million opportunities for us to grab. The thing that we're not good at as an industry is grabbing those opportunities quickly and understanding how we convince the end user, the consumer, to capture this opportunity. So what we've done is we've put together a deck of cards. We've called it our Mesh Master deck of cards. And I've got a deck here in my hand. You can see it up on the screen. They're just 52 playing cards. They're normal playing cards. You can use them to play poker and bridge and stuff with your friends, okay? To get your hands on these cards, you've got to buy one of our Mesh Master box of tricks, which we'll show you in a sec through the Zimi website. And we'll facilitate that sale with our wholesale partners to get these cards in the hands of contractors to help. What we've done here with these cards, there is 52 small problems with 52 small solutions. Every card in the pack is a solution to a problem. And what we're trying to do here with this marketing technique is we're trying to encourage a train of thought. We're trying to get wholesalers and contractors to grab a card and start talking about the card. Every single card is an opportunity. And there's hundreds of more opportunities around that as well. So it's a very simple way. If I was an electrician in Australia in this game, I'd have a pack of these cards in my pocket. I'd have a pack in the van. I'd be going to my client and saying, have you got a problem today? Let's try and help you solve some of those problems. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to play around with a couple of the cards, and we're going to see how we go in terms of using these together to explain the wonderful opportunity that this technology provides us as an industry. So out of the deck I've got with me, got some cards. I've pulled out the 3 of clubs. So here's the 3 of clubs. It's up on the screen now. And this comes out and it talks about the perfect fan control speed. So again, it gets us thinking and talking about fans. It gets us talking about fan speed. So what is the perfect fan speed for you? Use your finger for more speeds than ever before with Powermesh. With the Powermesh fan controller, we've gone from a 3-speed clunky AC capacitor fan control that we're all used to. We've built in 7 speeds. So in the Powermesh AC fan controller, it's got a wonderful slide your finger up and down, beautiful tactile feedback without the knob, and it allows a true variable speed experience. So instead of having slow, medium, and fast, we can do 7 speeds through our new Powermesh fan controller. Not only that, we've also incorporated in the Powermesh fan controller is what we call Speed Sense. And Speed Sense technology is just terrific. What it's doing at any point in time, it's going to measure the temperature of that bedroom, and we can make the fan move up and down depending on where the temperature moves. So a practical example of that is at night time, we're warm, we go to bed, the house is hot for the day, we set our fan on high, and I've just put one of these down at our beach house here in South Australia, and during the night, inevitably, the room cools down and you want the fan to slow down. We've all had the experience of having to get up and deal with that fan. So with Speed Sense, we can actually set it at high, and as the temperature drops in the room of the evening, the fan will slow down together with that temperature. A really nice feature straight out of the box. Of course, you could use, if your bed was a long way from the fan control on the wall, you can use your phone, or of course, with an extra Zimi cloud connected to Google, we can use our voice. So we can say, hey, Google, turn down the fan controller. So all of a sudden, we take the humble fan controller and we turn that into voice, phone, Speed Sense, variable speed control. All of a sudden, we've brought the humble AC fan to life in a retrofit environment. Very, very exciting. We move on to the next card, okay? I've just pulled out a card. It happens to be the card up on the screen, of course, and that talks about the fan controller that I've just been saying here. So again, the 10 of diamonds, the humble 10 of diamonds, you can adjust the fan speed from the comfort of the couch. So again, it's saying, hey, Google, set the fan speed to very high. It's saying, hey, Google, turn the fan off. So again, we're on the couch. We're lazy by nature as humans. We're in bed. That all of a sudden, it's going to make people think. If you present that card to your client, all of a sudden we can turn your standard fan in your room that exists today into a voice controlled or an app controlled product by just enabling the Powermesh device in a retrofit environment. Terrific. With the 10 of spades. I pull another card. Okay, and I've got them here laid out, and I want to pull out the 6 of diamonds. Again, the humble 6 of diamonds is in the pack, up on the screen there now. Hey kids, turn off the lights. All of us have issues with kids, lighting control, the simplicity of that. So again, not only are we talking about ourselves, we're now bringing the family unit in. So we can just say, hey Google, turn off the lights. We can swap the light dimmers we've got, the switches we've got, and we can enable the whole family. And so not only are we saying for the child to say, hey Google, turn my light down, hey Google, dim my light, we could also do that from another room. So if you'd labeled it John's room or Johnny's room, you could be in another part of the house and you could say, hey Google, turn on Johnny's lights, and those lights would come on if you hear Johnny crying or whatever. So it just gives us voice control, turning off lights with children, and enables that aspect. Again, all retrofit, all simple, all we can do this today with technology. So we draw another card out of the pack. We draw the Queen of Diamonds, the Queen of Hearts. There she is, the Queen of Hearts. This is a really good one. And I know after the webinar, Maddie Johnson, our commercial director, has done some excellent videos showing this one. And I think Matt's used the bug zapper here as the example. So have we all had a difficult PowerPoint to reach in an installation? And the great example here is a bug zapper. In an alfresco eating area, we'll have a bug zapper up the top. It'll be plugged into traditionally a standard GPO. And in most cases, the contractor wouldn't have had a switch wire under that GPO. And so would be using a stick, or would be getting on a chair, or be using a pull switch from the bug zapper. What we can do now is we can control that bug zapper with our voice. And so we can all of a sudden say, hey Google, turn on the bug zapper. We can grab our phone out and we can control the bug zapper with our phone. So it provides remote control access to those products that are hard to get. Not only from a bug zapper, you might have a PowerPoint under the floor, or you might have it in an awkward spot behind furniture, for example. And this gives us the ability to be able to get to that PowerPoint remotely, either through our voice or through our phone. And we'll talk a little bit more, should time allow us, with Behavior Link, which allows us to actually control things from other switches, which is coming. So difficult to reach PowerPoints. We've all had a case of that in our day-to-day activities where we thought, wow, I wish I could control that from somewhere else. Again, Powermesh, wireless, retrofittable brings that to us today in real time. We draw another card through our pack of 52. And as you can see there, we're just working through the pack. Every single card is another opportunity to solve a problem. Here we have one. Don't burn power with a toasted sandwich press. Here's a great idea that we came across through the New South Wales Schools Department. There are sandwich presses all around Australia, cafes, schools, of course, homes, everywhere. We're all using them, toasty, toasty, nothing better. Right? Why don't we make sure they go off? So in terms of here, we're talking about an auto off timer. What we've done with the Zimi software inside Powermesh is we've created an auto off timer. So we can now say, we could say 7 minutes every time that sandwich press is on, has been turned on at a school, for example. We could set the auto rundown timer to 7 minutes or whatever you choose. And then in 7 minutes, you know that that appliance is turned off. Safety, safety, safety indeed. And the same would come with a radiant bathroom heater in a bathroom. Radiant heater, they're often left on. If we think about the commercial environment, we think about our wholesale partners moving around Australia a lot. There are thousands of small heaters under desks right around the commercial parts of Australia. And so why wouldn't we make sure they're off with an auto timer? So auto timer, fantastic. No fire department. We don't want to be in the business of starting fires by leaving heating appliances on. If nothing more than that, Powermesh turns every device into a timer. Auto rundown, 24/7 timer, turn them on, turn them off. So again, that just sparks thought around the auto timer. So we grab another card and we keep going with ideas. And if I haven't had one yet that makes sense to you, or you haven't thought, we keep working through it. Here's another card. It's the ace. It's the 8 of hearts. And so what have we got on the 8 of hearts? We've got a little ghost there, scared of the dark, make bedtime a breeze every night. Okay, again here, looking at the experience of going to bed and the immediate light on, light off. What we've done, another small but effective feature in Powermesh in the software, is we have a triple tap and a gradual dim. So we can either do it via the phone, or we can just take our triple tap technology, tap 3 times, and that light will dim down, assuming you've got a dimmer installed. It'll dim down, and you can set your dim time on the software using the Zimi app, and you can set that from 5 seconds to a couple of minutes, not only for the kids, but also general practical nature of getting in and out of bed. You don't want the light to go off immediately. You triple tap it, and it can ramp down slowly to give you time to get into bed or get out of bed without that shock of dark and light immediately. So there's another great example to make people go, wow. We keep going, a couple more. We're running well. We've had about 45 minutes together. So timing, we're going quite well. Again, if you've got some questions, you're welcome to whack them anytime you like. So we talk about the 5 of hearts. Here it comes. Are your appliances using power when not in use? Of course they are. Standby power is a large issue around the world and here in Australia. We're consuming lots of power without knowing about it. And I know that electricians and wholesalers and those that are educated around power get it, but most of the consumers don't realise it. Most of the consumers don't realise there is a ton of power being used in a home every day without them really getting any benefit from that power. So we can make sure that we're getting appliances off when we want them off. Audio, visual equipment here is a classic. You know, we may not want to turn our Foxtel box off all the time, but we should be getting off that subwoofer, and we should be getting off those other devices that you simply don't need to have on when you're not experiencing that telly or that movie. So again, we can make sure they're off, set timers, control them from your phone, make sure they go off, is the 5 of hearts. We grab another one, and this will be the last one we do for today. The next one is the old, the 9 of diamonds, have another fridge running just for entertaining. And I've used this example many times around Australia. While we've been talking about it in the past, we've all got a sneaky bar fridge somewhere. We've all got a fridge tucked away. We've got a fridge out the back in the shed. There's lots of these running right around the country, and we don't need to run the fridges full time. If we're not opening the door, the beers are going to stay cold. So why don't we put those fridges on a timer? Why don't we think better and smarter about how we run those style devices in our home? And again, a simple change to a Powermesh device gives that fantastic level of flexibility. When I could be right here in the office now and I could just say, hey, Google, turn on my man cave fridge, and on it would go at home, and I'd be able to get there and the fridge would be on. So all of those wonderful Jetson style quirky things that we want to do with our electrical devices, we can now do today. It's absolutely fantastic. And I've only been through a dozen or so cards. There's 52 in the deck. But at the end of the day, they're 52 ideas we had. Every electrician in the country is going to have new and unique ways to unlock the power of the mesh. On the screen at the moment, you can watch some videos we're putting together. So what we're doing is we're going to go through each card for you to allow you to download these videos, look at them on YouTube, show your clients, okay? Share them with each other as a contracting, wholesaling community. I've covered the Queen of Hearts, I've covered the fan, that Matty Johnson's doing some of the verbal, I'll do some, Jordan will do some, we'll have some fun with it. But our idea is to have all of those cards in that deck of 52, to have a little video around each of them. So if you pull out a card, you can then go onto your phone or your computer or your iPad, and you can show your client. You could show them Matt with a bug zapper, or you can show them controlling the lights for the kids, or you can show them what the right fan speed is. So have a look at those videos. They're up with the various links, and we'll continue to add more for you, because our job as trader is to make your life easy and to help us break this technology down into basic small solutions. And if we can all get our heads around that, and let's say there's 40 or 50,000 contractors in this country, let's get together and let's share these ideas with each other and generate demand to allow us to capture what is a wonderful opportunity, or the biggest single opportunity that we've had for decades, if not ever, in this industry. So to get your box of tricks, it's really easy. We've put together two basic boxes, a silver box and a gold box. You go onto zimi.life or shop.zimi.life, and these are available, and we facilitate these now for you. So if you want to buy these products now, we will do that with you, with, of course, always facilitating that order with our wholesale partners. It is so important that as an industry, we stick together to make sure wholesalers and suppliers together provide a wonderful solution for contractors. And we will facilitate those orders with our wholesalers in partnership if you'd like to do that now. Of course, the Powermesh product is available through hundreds of wholesale stores today. We've got switches, dimmers, PowerPoints, Zimi clouds, all of those products out there in the bricks of the Australian wholesaling community today. We can facilitate some orders right now with you online. What we want to do is we want to get Powermesh and Zimi in the hands of every single contractor in Australia the best, most efficient way we can. Because you've really got to try this, okay? I mean, listening to me on the TV is one thing, on the webinar and watching a couple of YouTube videos, but I really encourage everyone to go out, grab a device, think about how you can sell it, grab a deck of cards through the box, grab that deck, have a go, and let's together unlock the extraordinary opportunity that exists today, with billions and billions of dollars available for us to collect. And that's real right now. We can do it without wires, fully retrofittable, and we can scale it. So if you've got a customer that's got a budget for 2 devices, do 2. And they'll fall in love with the flexibility and power of the mesh. And we can then add more devices as and when we want that customer, or when that budget allows it. So the scalability is fun. The retrofittability is fun. The no wires, and they're always going to be fixed wire devices for the licensed electrician by law. So what a wonderful suite of products to go out and try and capture some of this market that exists today and is only growing in size as more of us become familiar with this technology. So again, I'd love you to go out, have a look, buy a box, a silver box, a gold box, buy Powermesh through the existing stock that's in the network. We welcome all of those opportunities. So we've also got up on the screen, Jordan, if we move to the QR code, there's a QR code there, the gold box you can scan right now if you're watching us live, or if you're watching the playback of this webinar. Again, just use the camera on your phone, scan that QR code on the screen. It'll take you straight to the shop, and there's a limited exclusive offer for electricians right now using that QR code. We want you to be in it. We're using lots of different ways to try and get the message across. As the COVID world lifts, we'll be out there, the entire trader team from Townsville through to Adelaide, Tasmania, across into Perth, will be out there pushing this really hard, because it is just so exciting, the opportunities that are available to us. Keep some of the questions coming. Keep working through that. Thank you. We've got a lot online. I've been about 53 minutes, Jordan. I might just reintroduce you. About what, 40 is it? Oh, because we had this started beforehand, I think. Okay, so I've only been 30. Thank you, Matt. So I've only been 30 minutes. I thought haven't been speaking for 50, but I might get carried away. That's all good. So we've been about 30 minutes together. That's fine. Why don't we now move and do a bit of behaviour link, Jordan, and just explain this wonderful multi-switching opportunity that Powermesh presents, and then we can come back and talk some more, JT, together with some Q&A and some other things. So, mate, I've had a good run for half an hour or so. Over to you, mate.
Thanks, Simon. Love the card deck. I've got obviously a few decks. I'm a bit of a keen poker player, so it's always handy to have a spare deck of cards. And more importantly, as we covered off last time, there's just so many applications that I'm constantly asked every day. And the deck of cards is just a great way to understand the many things you can do. I want to talk a little bit about Behaviour Link. It was a lot of questions were brought up from the last webinar about what is Behaviour Link. It's a very exciting feature of Powermesh, and quite simply, it's multi-way switching without extra wires. Now, we've talked a lot about the beauty of voice and the beauty of app control. I think the reality is a lot of the time, we will always use PowerPoint and we'll always use switches. And the advantage of Behaviour Link is we're letting contractors actually introduce multi-way switching in one of those 10 million existing dwellings without running any extra wires. So a very simple solution without complicated technology. So how does it actually work? Behaviour Link is designed to work with all Powermesh devices, and it revolves around the heart of the brand new multi-purpose switch that we've just released. So if we have an existing installation, it might have a 2 or a 3 gang switch. I'm going to come with my brand new Powermesh switch and upgrade it to an extra button. So let's replace the 3 gang. I've replaced it here with a 4 gang. And now I have the option to maybe turn the light switch on the fan controller on and off. I have the option to turn a switch on a PowerPoint on and off. I can also link it to a dimmer and have a full dimmer control on one of these buttons. So how do we actually get it to work? This was revolving around a lot of technical questions last time. And there's one simple rule, that any switch without a connected load can be linked to something else. So you can see here on the screen, if I have a 4 gang switch and it has 4 loads, there's no buttons available to link. However, if I want to go and install a button without a load, I can pick any of those to switch. So what do I want it? I think the very first Behaviour Link in my house was with a PowerPoint. I have a PowerPoint in the garage. I have my garden lights connected to it. And it was just really painful to go and turn garden lights on and off. Even with the timer that might go on and off daily, sometimes on the weekend, you might be up later, you might be entertaining. Having that switch in a hard to reach place is very annoying. With Behaviour Link, I don't need to get in the roof or the wall and run a new switch wire to a switch inside the living room. I can simply put a Powermesh switch in and link them. So once I've wired it up, how do I actually set it up? It's quite simple. You get a Zimi and you link it as you do with any other device, which thanks to the Bluetooth technology with Powermesh, you hold your Zimi next to a device and it finds the device. And we've added one more little step. It's totally automatic, and Zimi checks all of those switches for load. If there is load, you can simply name it and control it like any other Powermesh device. Or if there's no load, it actually becomes available for Behaviour Link. To show you an actual screen on the left, I've just added a 4 gang Powermesh switch. You can see 2 of them wired. One is wired to a downlight and one is wired to my security light, which are full loads. You can see the other 2 now say choose device to link. So quite simply, I click one of those and I can now select any of my Powermesh devices there. So I'm going to link it to a dimmer. So now both the dimmer and the switch have control. It's not limited to 2-way. We could go 3-way, we could go 4-way, even 5-way if you wanted to. If you change your mind later, it's all done in Zimi. You don't have to rewire things for different multi-way switching. We simply come into the switch settings there. We can unlink it and we can relink it to any other Powermesh device we'd like. That's really handy in the future because sometimes when you're installing a product, you know, if you have children, it might be nice to suddenly have a switch in your bedroom for the children's bedroom so you can turn the light off and on from your room. And as they grow older, you may not want that control anymore. So now I have a new switch, or I might have added some other devices over that time. So I can actually change or essentially future-proof this switch to whatever I would like it to control. So Behavior Link is one of the first solutions linking devices offline. The great thing about this is if you lose your internet, or perhaps you have a power blackout and the power comes back on, all this is between the devices. They all talk together. You don't need your phone once it's been set up. You don't need the internet once it's been set up. It's like an invisible wire that links these devices together. And there's just so many applications. We're really excited to be the first to launch this in the industry. And it's a solution that any electrician can install and use today. So hopefully that answers some of your questions on Behavior Link. You're more than welcome to contact the team at Trader if you need help with any particular application. And you're also free to ask a question now if you want to put your hand up and ask any questions. So I think that's explained, Simon. I think you've also
Thank you, Jordan. Terrific.
got Behavior Link.
Excellent. Thank you for describing that. You've done another wonderful job with that. And again, as I was listening, and each time, Jordan, I listened to that from you, and we've worked together as a team on this, it just continues for me to unlock opportunities in terms of providing multi-way switching and doing things in a wireless way that would have taken days and very expensive to do with traditional wires. And so things like Behavior Link, again, just continue to unlock opportunities with technology like Powermesh for contractors around the country. So fantastic. I know with the questions, I'm sitting here with Matt and with Cassie. We've answered a lot of the questions as we've gone on the webinar, and we can answer them live, which everyone's been doing, which is terrific. So we'll continue to do that. While we just drop a few more questions out, Cass, we might just do this poll. We're going to do more of these webinars. They're really a great way to get our message across, not only live to the participants and attendees today, but also we record them to allow us to use them in other parts at different times if you're not available to join us now. So one of the issues is, when do we best do this? What's the best time? We get a bag of different answers. Do it later, do it earlier. I'm busy around Australia. In this crazy country of ours, we've got, I think, 5 or 6 different time zones. And so what's the best time for us to do that? So we've put up a bit of a poll there, thank you. And it's asking you, what time should we do it? And that poll comes through. And I'm not quite sure what happens from now. We'll let that sit there. Please vote. Whether we do it early morning, we've got here 11 a.m. on the East Coast, whether we do it 4:30 on the East Coast, which was what we've done this time, which is 4 o'clock Adelaide, or whether we do it later. We know contractors are very busy in the early mornings, so we're just trying to get some feedback from you about when we best do that time. So let that go through. And I'm just having a look here. Bear with me on another screen, and quite clearly, 74% have indicated the timing now is good, about 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. We didn't get a lot of votes for the early morning, and a couple, 20% in the afternoon. So overwhelmingly, we'll keep this time of day, I think, based on that, and we'll ask you the question again later. So thank you for providing that poll information for us. So a couple of other questions that have come up. Jordan is going to answer this question live. Jordan's going to answer it. Is there a way to dim the switch on the fan control switch? So do you want to cover a couple of those, JT, now?
Yeah, So Paul's asked, is there an ideal number of control devices or preferred devices to use in conjunction? His house is a bit clunky. He has robust, he has brilliant downlights, got Google Home, a Mini, an Android, an Apple, you know, and I think this is the reality of where we're going as this becomes a more mature market. We're all sort of having so many different devices in the home. Even myself, I use a range of course, Powermesh, but I also have some connected TVs. I have my laptop, my phone, and a few other third-party devices as well. What I love about the Google Assistant is it really helps bring all that together. So I use the Google Assistant sort of as my main control, where I can, whether I'm asking to watch a particular show on TV, which goes through my Sony, or I ask to turn the lights off, which goes through Powermesh. I love the Google Assistant tying it all together. In terms of which device, typically the Apple devices do control quite reliably because it's a standard. Android, there is a lot of different versions out there, a lot of different manufacturers, a lot of different OS operating systems. So it's always a bit of a variable experience, but I think you just need to find what works for you. And in this space, you know, just try a few, start with a few devices and grow from there. Another one is from Greg about an intermediate switch with 4 active link wires and no neutral. Powermesh multi-purpose switches and the Powermesh dimmers work with no neutral. And that's such a beautiful feature to have in a retrofitting environment. Of course, you have to use all Powermesh. You don't combine, if you're using multi-way switching and you have an old mech, as you turn it off and on, it will cut the power. So if you want to convert multi-way switching, you do need to convert all the devices on that circuit. But yes, no neutral, no problem with Powermesh. Apple HomeKit is the way to go. Here's another question by Matthew. I'm actually, myself, I'm a bit of an Apple fan. I use the iPhone, and obviously right now, Powermesh supports the Google Assistant, but there is a little cheeky workaround that. If you go into your Siri shortcuts, you can actually pull in one of the Google Assistant commands. So I've set up for my Powermesh devices, I can turn the lights off and on with Siri. I can also turn a PowerPoint on. You just have to set up each shortcut with Siri to a Google Assistant command. In the long term, we're a big supporter. We're hoping to make an announcement in the future for Apple HomeKit support, but in the meantime, you could set up some of those shortcuts. Is there a way to dim the switch on the fan control from Scott? This has been a bit of an ask. Right now, the fan controller has an off and on relay to switch different loads there. From lots of demand, we're actually working on introducing behavior link there. So you could link that eventually to a dimmer and have a dimmable load in that same room. So watch your space. We've been listening. It's been a very common ask, and we are working on a solution.
So if I can thank you, Jordan, for those questions. I'm conscious of everyone's time. I think we've been going about 45 minutes or thereabouts on the webinar, and we've asked for an hour of your time. That's terrific. Thank you. More questions still coming in. That's fantastic. And of course, if we haven't answered them all, we will answer them and follow that up with you because we've got a record of those, and we'll come back to you. Jordan just mentioned something then that I thought I'd butt in. This, for us, in the Powermesh world, Jordan, with what we've done together, we're at the start of this journey. The fun part about what we've produced is all of the hardware, all of the software, Zimi, Powermesh, everything we've gone through with you today has all been designed by us here in Australia, by a whole bunch of smart Australians. We haven't gone off and bought a system from another part of the world and rebranded it. This has been done by us. We're so proud of this. And it's only just starting. So the suite of products we have this year, fantastic. But it will evolve and it will grow, and we'll continue to add Powermesh technology into lots and lots of different hardware. So watch the space with weatherproof. Watch the space with our Buffalo industrial range. watch what happens in different areas, because ultimately the opportunity of connected spaces exists everywhere for us. And the more we explore and the more we ask questions, and the feedback we've got in the last 40 minutes is incredibly valuable with the questions. It helps us know where to go next. The opportunities are absolutely unlimited. And because we've done it together with your support in Australia, it means we'll keep adding the products and we'll keep designing it here in this country around the needs of the Australian electrical community. And for us, that's most important. So this will evolve. It's early days and it's so exciting. With your support, we can make that happen. I think we might wrap it up quite soon. I just want to have a little beer and say thank you for the end of the webinar. I just want to sort of sum up 2 or 3 key points again in 30 seconds. Trader, we stand here at our second webinar. We want to have more. We are an extremely passionate, flexible partner to the industry that's bringing innovation like Powermesh to you around Australia by the team at Trader and by the team of Jordan and what we've done in innovations with Powermesh and Zimi. We're so excited about what we're doing. In fact, I think we're leading the way here, and we're doing it with always the electrical contractor in mind. It's so important for us, number one. Number two, we've discussed today the opportunity. And I stress again, this is the biggest single opportunity this industry has had in many, many decades. It's exciting and it's real. And if you believe that connected devices, what can be connected will be connected, what a wonderful opportunity for every contractor in this country to get engaged with a fixed wire device that is retrofittable, it's scalable, and we're providing a range of tools. So we've got an opportunity. We've got a passionate player like Trader with the Gerard family. We've got all the tools. We showed you, I'm just showing some slides, the wonderful products that we have to unlock the opportunity. And then again today, we've described how we get that opportunity across with a basic deck of cards that you can grab in those box of tricks with our Meshmaster program. So, passionate partner, opportunity exists everywhere. We've got the hardware, we've got the software, and we've got some selling tools to have some fun with this. So grab a deck of cards, have a try, get involved, and let's unlock the opportunity of this wonderful product together. Thank you again. A little beer always for Trader and our fluffy green stubby holders. We've got many other colors. If we were together face to face, we'd be sharing a beer and a chat, which we love to do as part of the Trader passion and partnership with the industry. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thanks for listening to Jordan. Thanks for sharing your time. We'll do more of these at this time, I think works. Thanks to Cass and everyone that's helped us put this together. It's terrific. And just remember, there is an opportunity in every wall, behind every couch, on every light switch to grow and develop this Powermesh connected solutions together. And we wish you all the best, very best for doing that. Here's cheers and thanks for listening to us for the last hour or so. Cheers. Thank you.